Welcome Nepali poet,
Mhm.
theater artist, theater director, actor Rajkumar Pudasaini to our Nordic Asian literary evening. We are running it from Uppsala Litteraturcentrum with the support of
Mhm.
Swedish Academy and other partners. And in the beginning, I will put some questions to you. Then you are
Mhm.
welcome to read some of your poems. And my name is Anisur Rahman. I am a Bengali Swedish author working for Uppsala Literature Centrum. Rajkumar, welcome.
Thank
And
you.
would you like to tell about your ongoing writing and theater programs in brief?
Oh yeah. Uh, I started my career actually from acting. I was very fascinated to see some movies and theaters, so I was very much curious about being on the stage and being as an actor, and that was my passion. And but after doing this long time, I thought that this creative area is like a kind of limitless. It's like shapeless, so you can everywhere you can see. If you see the creative, then your mind goes to there. So sometimes I do painting, sometimes I do like writing, sometimes I do some other things beside the acting too. So I dance, I play some music, Nepali instrumental, and yeah. After this COVID situation, uh, I started before the COVID. After earthquake, I was thinking to write something because of because of those painful life of Nepal and those all the disasters. So that inspired me to write something, and I wrote a poem for a song, actually musical program. So my friend were having a concert for this earthquake kind of thing, and they asked me to please do write something, some words from your side about this earthquake. And I started from that point, and later on I thought it's better to keep it on and writing something. So but after this COVID situation, I get really the free times that I couldn't join group. So if you
Oh,
want to act, then you need a team.
would you like to mention the year when was the earthquake?
Or 2015. Mm. That was a heavy hit in Nepal. Like more than 11,000, 12,000 people died. Yeah.
You were talking
So
something. I stopped you meanwhile in
oh
the
yeah,
middle.
after the COVID, to do theater we need team. Even if you're alone in the stage, you need the music, you need sound, you need lights, you need some costumes. So you need some persons. Now you can't do only yourself for the theater. So when being in the room, I decided that let's write something that it can be on paper. So the reader would read later when the situation is normal. So my mind will keep on going for the creative area. So that was the idea to write more on this.
Very good.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
thank you.
And what are you doing now?
Nowadays, I'm reading some books from Nepali novelist and poets, and I'm beside this. I'm doing some kind of like technical thing for the theater. That in this time, some of the theater are like renovating, or some new theaters are building. So I am doing some lighting business too, because I was doing actually beside acting, I was doing lightings lighting designing for the place while I was in Gurukul. So I kept that, and some people asked me to suggest the design for lighting and how to put the lights in theater, how to install the lights in theater. So I'm doing that that kind of work.
Would you like to brief a bit about Gurukul? What is,
Uh,
what sort of academy or institution is it? Can you tell?
uh, Gurukul was a revolution, new era for Nepali art, culture, and theater. Uh, in Nepal, there was a time when the artists were really engaged in theater, and there were people who used to go theater for like many years, and they used to be on the line for a whole night and watch the play. But after this political situation in Nepal, like after 2009, 1990, 91, the revolution for a democracy, we found that it's okay to have a political change and have a rights for people and have a democracy, but somehow it destroyed some of the art, some of the cultural area. So the Gurukul was uh, a kind of new era to re to give a rebirth of those disasters, kind of art. So and we tried from public side to reopen our theater, and we established it in 2001, and we started we ran up to 2010, and on this 10 years we got support from Norwegian government directly, and we had we had like 4, 5, 6 productions in air, classes running, workshops, international networking, and then a lot of activity in theater. So after that, the whole theater scenario of Nepal changed with Gurukul teached people how to go themselves
Uh,
on their work.
at this point, would you like to talk about One World Theatre, which is your main
Yeah,
platform now or concern now?
yeah. One World Theater is a kind of like uh, you can say like a theater for the expats who lives in Kathmandu. Firstly, because the theater was established by the concept was developed by one American Fulbright student who was studying in Nepal on her master's class in TU, and she went back, and when she missed Nepal, and that's why when she came for Fulbright, she thought of like opening a theater and then and running it in Nepal, because there was not any kind of good theater in Nepal. So, but when the Gurukul stopped, then I had no work, no thing to do. So she called me to join One World Theater as a chairperson, and she agreed to open a Nepali wings among this in this One World Theater, and I engaged there. I accepted her calling, and then yeah, we had a Nepali wings, and we worked for like from 2011. It established, and we work 5 production each year, and 1 or 2 Nepali and 1 or 2 English. So yeah, it works for both language, and it's a kind of uh, we say that it's a theater from the world.
And would you like to tell about the ongoing productions from this theater or coming
uh,
productions?
Upcoming, we are there was a production going on just before the COVID. It was a ride across the Lake Constance,
Yeah.
and that because of this lockdown and all, we had to stop that. That is still on schedule for next year. And another is like Stop Kiss. It is a kind of LGBTQI issues based play, and the Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. my solo production. So it's for 2021.
And then what is the next project
Next
you are
is
working for?
next project is Macbeth Massacre. It's a huge opera
Okay.
with like more than 45-50 casts, and we are going to do it in open air in some Rana's palace and all this old classical scenario. So it's we are seeking it for like international collaboration because it's a Shakespeare massacre, and we are combining relating it with like Nepali king's massacre, and then the contemporary political kind of thing. So
Yeah. Would you like to tell us about the difficulties or challenges as well as the possibilities or chances available for theater and writing world in Nepal today?
uh, for the Nepali theater itself, the difficulties is our society because it's still not believe they most of the people still do not believe that theater is a profession. That's already is a kind of challenge that we need to establish that it is a profession. We can make our life better with this profession. And second thing is like the theater still is kind of not a priority in writing the plays. It's
Good.
we most of time we like either we take some stories and then modify it as a play, or novels take it from novel and modify it as a play, or we just borrow plays from the world, the other country, and then translate it or adapt it and do it. So there is a kind of this is a major challenge as I think now, because we need to write our life and stage our life. There is huge possibility of exploring ourselves. And second challenge is space. We don't have a good performing space in Nepal. Like if we want to do a kind of Macbeth massacre or Shakespearean plays, or if since a very fantastic play, then we miss the theater. We have to think for some time that where can we make this, where can we do this. So space is also challenging in Nepal to build a space. And of course the fund, the government do not have uh,
Project.
any fund for the theater productions. They have other fund for the keeping some scholars in office and running their own office, but not for productions. So yeah, many challenges.
Okay. And you mentioned one thing, this will be the last question to you.
Mhm.
The people usually are not writing drama or manuscripts for theater. Usually you use story and novels. Why?
uh it's like we there is a huge kind of environment in Nepal. If the one writer sees in Nepal, then it's we have still we have a life of 1800 century, and we have a life of 2000 century here in Nepal. There are people who believes in like Stone Age still,
Yeah.
and there are people who believes in like this scientific 21st century.
Yeah.
So you see the differences, and you might feel the differences of their thoughts, beliefs,
Yeah.
and we are combining those all people and putting them all together in a, and we can see the what comes from there. It's interesting, it's very interesting. So but we need to write that, we need to get that in paper, and we need to read that, and we should read that, and we should think of how we can make it wonderful, so these are the things. And we had this hate, and we had this the civil war, and many people died in this earthquake hit. Many people died, and political this all. So we have a interesting life and very much dimension kind of thing. And culturally we have like more than 200-300 cultures, and each week we have a new festival around Nepal. So
Okay, continue.
and so I see that if someone writes, then there is a lot, many material to write in Nepal, many materials.
And since I told you the last one was the last questions, but still I have one supplementary questions about the many dimensions you have a bit focus. And
Mm-hmm.
at this point, I would like to add, in Nepal there are some 125 ethnic minority communities, and
Mm-hmm.
if I am not wrong, and you have also 123 ethnic minority languages. What is
Mm-hmm.
the state of theater and writing in those languages?
uh, when we had this Gurukul, we had a kind of wings for community-based theater, which means to find this ethnic group, to find their culture and think for their own style of theatrical performance. So and that time we tried two different culture and two cultures and two productions and two community theater. One was based on Tharu community, who were far west Nepal, and they were kind of very oppressed people. And one was people from Karnali, who had a very hard life, and where our Nepali language was from that area. The language speak in Nepali nowadays is from that area. So we tried to establish a theater for those both community, but Gurukul stopped, so whole concept stopped. And now to continue those, we need a huge support, because it's not like something making production or kind of thing. It's establishing something different and very new body of theater. So in that way we collected a community people, the related like Tharu community. We gathered 15-20 Tharu major who know the Tharu culture and all. We called them in Kathmandu. We gave them accommodation for 2 months, and we work with them day and night for 2 months, and we went through all the detailed daily life of them. And we set for like 15 days to brainstorm for the concept of performing, concept of community theater. And then we again after 15 days we wrote a kind of concept note, and we called them back to Kathmandu, and we had a rehearsal for a month, and then we had performance for a month. So it was a huge success performance. So this was a idea to go work with community, the ethnic groups. But now it's like no, it's just a dream.
Would you like to read some of your poems in Nepali and
Yeah.
English?
Yeah. Let me read in. Uh, eh, it's a English poem. Uh, Actually, I had done one music video. There is a song by Bertolt Brecht in his play Caucasian Chalk Circle, and we did that Caucasian Chalk Circle, and one the like very good folk school musical group uh, took it hardly, and then made a Nepali song out of that, and I was as like a model for that music video. And looking back at that, I wrote one poem for the people who lives in the streets of Kathmandu, Nepal, and who has no one, and it's kind of mess life. So it's a Kathor. If you go on YouTube, then there you find a Kathor night band, and they my poem is like blind heart. So poem goes like this. One more morning, here again. Lovely heat, honest air, trustworthy environment. So I opened my windows. Then a pair of white doves. Hurry, hurry, hurry. There they made 3 rounds inside where I am, and still no place to stay. Silly doves do not sit on the floor. I-fi royalist. Walking legs are made sure, so the best idea for them would be to jump from the coat to pant, from shirt to coat, and again coat to pant, picking, popping. Okay. I picked up a lump and threw it. Again. Wounds of injury, sticked dirt and pens, dirty food thrown on the road. So this is their search for shelter and food on my things. But how much to endure? I am hungry too. It is white and easy to see. I picked up another lump and shoot it. Rounding and rounding and rounding round, and then sat in a plastic bag, sniffing. This time they were a bit faster, maybe in a hurry. Oh no, son of a bitch. This is my food, mine. Oh. To satisfy with the magical roll. To have it inside the trap of coat, very prepared for another boat. I accepted them. They ate my share, and I ate all of them. Yes, it is the same, either dopes or them. Now, all stability, finally breathed. I seemed to be alive. Listen to the outside accommodation. Someone in the distance with its loud voice. Calm down. Human rights, human rights. He was saying, some lyrics, musical concerts, life. Thank you. So it's a man who lives in the street, has no one, and has to fight with the things around. Second one, it was about my relationship. Deep inside, I'm crying. Oh, it is weird that I'm crying. No, tears are not well. We talked, and she said to me in a grammar, some kind of, in some context, something like the water. And maybe I might would stand for the stone, or I'm there in one place, promising, steadfast. She was following around, searching around, looking around, changing her colors, coming from high top and going down, or vice versa, following, moving, climbing, waving, every time new, every time creative, every time lively, every time different. And to be wet with her water, I was there. Sometimes she makes it full, and sometimes half, and so on and so on. And water goes into my heart, and I become wet, and then moist, juicy tears. I'm crying. Oh, no, please. I'm sorry. I'm crying. Thank you.
Welcome.
So, sorry?
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rajkumar Pudasaini. We hope to see you soon. Any other occasion?